I don't even know how to start the next segment. You guys talking about poop chairs?
Take a break. Take a deep breath.
Friggin'
nerd.
Friggin' nerd radio. On the podcast.
I like James talks him through it like it's such a normal thing.
Podcast page.
I've been here before.
Coming up to retail, the turds know nothing new. A little bit of poop.
We're on Checkpoint XP, Twitch.tv stuff. Friggin'.
We broke Chuck.
You guys are disgusting.
I know. He came broken. He's sick, and we went and rewired some stuff in his brain.
It was Al Beck and James talking about poop chairs. And gross. Let's talk about some more Batman, you gross bastards.
We can do that. Are you going to actually come back from the break though, and like reset the podcast, or have we already reset?
I was just going to start with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And I say we keep this conversation in.
This is awful.
Yep.
All right, so we all know there's a Joker movie coming up with Joaquin Phoenix. Did you guys hear about this? They're doing the press junket, and somebody asked Joaquin Phoenix specifically about, are you worried at all with that this will kind of glorify the villain of the Joker, especially with the shootings that happened.
This is where he walked out, like he walked off the interview. Or whatever? I didn't hear what the question was. I know he walked off.
He's pieced out for an hour. He pieced out, and then they had to talk to the promotional people for almost an hour to be like, look, we weren't trying to it's an upsetting subject or something like that, but we figured you have to have thought of this, right? So he must have an answer of some sort. And an hour later, he came back and didn't act like nothing happened, but was like, yeah, I never thought of that. What do you think would be a smart answer for that question? What?
He's probably worried about a poop chair.
What? Maybe.
You know what, though? Here's what I will say in his defense is he was like, I don't want to say the wrong thing right now, so I'm going to excuse myself from this situation, because we also had, we had that Liam Neeson revealed that super racist story during an interview a few months back. You know what I mean?
True.
Like,
he could have been just trying to protect himself, thinking like this reporter is looking for some sort of clickbaity headline that will go viral, and make the movie look bad, make him look bad, and he wants to keep acting, so he doesn't want to lose gigs.
So,
if those are your only two choices, then I do agree that was the smarter choice.
So, does it look great? No, but it looks a hell of a lot better than saying the wrong thing. And when you kind of come at something like that, I don't know. I'm not mad at it because, I don't know, I think of it from sitting in his chair. Like, bye.
Al Beck has done a lot of controversial movies, so he's got a perspective on it that definitely... For sure.
You know what? Caligula. If I could have walked away from Caligula in the middle of that...
You couldn't have tore yourself away from telling me about Caligula. You were so delighted to vomit forth all that historical information.
I know, and it just kept getting worse. And it was one of those moments where in my brain I'm going like, no. Like, it's really interesting. If we just get to the part that's interesting, it'll be less morbid, and it just got worse.
No, it's
There's a dark day in Nerd Radio's history. For those who don't know, you'd have to do a deep dive into past episodes.
Into our past episodes, which I encourage you to do because there's some entertaining stuff in there.
Well, I discussed Caligula, the former Roman emperor, and it got real dark. But then go find the Diogenes episode, and that one's just light and fun.
That's Is this a man, Plato?
Behold!
We're telling inside jokes about our own podcast. We have reached peak, self.
We have, and I don't even want to get into the subject matter, but you and I have had a discussion about something controversial on the show before, and then we got done, and we both kind of looked at each other and was like, maybe we remove that.
Yeah.
And it was something, it wasn't even like the stance we were taking was... But it was a controversial topic, and we were just like, that's not what this show is, so we took it out.
Yeah.
So we've done something sort of like that. The difference was, and like right now, we're live on Twitch as we record this. Yeah, so we couldn't take it back.
You guys get to see this regardless.
Right. So it would go out over the live stream, and of course, it would be up on the Checkpoint's Twitch stream.
Checkpoint will rerun it at 6 p.m.
At 6 p.m. on Wednesday, yes.
Right.
But we had that opportunity when we were just recording this thing to go, you know what? Let's not put that out there. So, it could have just been as simple as that. Like, I don't want to touch that. I think, media does have that, the freedom of the press and everything. And, and they should ask the hard questions. But do you have the responsibility that I have to answer that? I'm here to talk about my movie.
I don't think so, but it is definitely very weird to just be like,
oh, he's finally done it. Where it's James, it's you and me.
Oh no,
Chuck is gone.
It's our worst fear.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, but also at the same time, it is weird for him to do that. But Joaquin Phoenix seems like a weird dude, anyways. Yeah. So I feel like the reporter that's there asking that question, you got to be prepared for something weird to happen anytime you sit down to talk to the guy.
That's fair.
Have
you guys seen a lot of Joaquin Phoenix movies?
I've seen a fair amount. I think Gladiator was what caught my attention for him.
Because the only other one I can think that I've seen is Her, the one where you
saw Signs. Her. Come on, Signs.
Signs. I saw Signs.
Swing away.
Oh yeah, that
Swing away.
Yeah.
So he saved the day.
I did watch that documentary that he did. Remember when he lost his mind on Letterman?
Yes.
And we found out like a year and a half later that the whole thing was supposed to be, again, maybe it might have been a story. I don't know. To this day, I don't know if it was legit or if
some Andy Kaufman BS.
Right. But the story is that he wanted to do a documentary and it was supposed to be a sociological experiment. So he grew his beard out and he went and acted crazy in public. You remember he announced he was going to leave acting and become a rapper.
Yes.
And all that whole thing. And the story is it was a shtick for a documentary. And
was it Casey Affleck involved in that?
I think he might have been.
He was the guy producing it or something.
Right.
I don't remember. I remember he was acting real weird and crazy.
And I did watch that documentary, and if that's true, I mean that is some deep commitment.
Yeah.
Talk about being a method actor.
Yeah, I mean he could have any actor or actress in that position. Like you could be tanking your career.
Right. But Letterman was not in on the joke. So he went on Letterman, and he said it was a calculated, like there's all these different late night hosts out there right now.
Right.
Who am I going to do this to?
Who's going to respond the best?
Yes, and he decided like Letterman he's the guy, and so he dropped all that on Letterman, and Letterman's reactions were completely organic, whether Joaquin was acting or not.
Yeah,
Letterman certainly was not, and then when he did reveal the project in the movie, that was his first interview was on Letterman.
Was Letterman right?
And and Letterman, you could tell he was like, it would have been nice to know, like F you.
All right, well, I'm sure you guys have seen this already, but there's an upcoming Batman movie that we're supposed to have Robert Pattinson as Batman in. And
sure.
The rumor is that Jonah Hill is going to be the villain in this particular Batman movie. Have you guys heard this?
Yes.
Okay,
yes, a little bit.
So you know who he's supposed to be playing?
Yeah.
Well, there's some confusion. We talked a little bit about it this morning on Dave and Chuck the Freak.
Yeah.
But I read online it was supposed to be the Penguin.
Right.
But that we discussed that it's supposed to be the Riddler.
Yeah. That's
okay.
I knew it from the show this morning, too, so I didn't realize there was even, another option. I thought it was the Riddler.
Yeah, see, the story that I'd read said that they wanted him to be playing the Penguin, and I'm like, that's kind of mean. Jonah Hill used to be a fat guy. And he's worked really hard to tone his body down. And now you're like, hey, we want you to play the fat Batman villain.
Yeah. I don't hate him, though, as a candidate to play the Penguin. I think he actually would do a good job from seeing on Wolf on Wall Street and some of his other stuff. Like, he can actually act.
Yeah.
Moneyball and Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
Like, he has the chops to act. And I feel like him as the Penguin, I think he could pull it off. Like, it could be as epic as Danny DeVito, I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
I never got to Wolf of Wall Street, but when we were talking about this morning on Dave and Chuck, at first I was like, there's no way. Like, I don't have anything against Jonah Hill, but as a Batman villain, no way. But then Moneyball was immediately what I thought. I was like, you know what, though? He was really good in that movie. So still wouldn't be my choice, but it's kind of like Robert Pattinson. Do I like the choice? No, but I can sit back and go, all right, well, it's done. Let's see what happens. I'm not up in arms about it.
And if it's bad, it's not like everybody's going to point the finger at Jonah Hill.
Right.
They're going to point the finger at Robert Pattinson anyways, Hickory Longbottom from Harry Potter ruined the movie.
Cedric Diggory.
Or whatever his name is,
Yeah, Neville Longbottom was another character that did come up in the show, though.
That was the only one James could remember.
Yeah, I just know Longbottom, so I throw long into whatever I'm talking about, and a bottom, and
it's got bottom in the title, so he's like, that's the one I remember.
Throwing long into bottom. That's James for
Neville Power Bottom and Hickory Buttstroke. The two Harry Potter forces collide.
I love Hickory Buttstroke.
Buttstroke. Good Lord.
Hickory Buttstroke sounds like an Urban Dictionary move.
What is happening right now? Don't Google Hickory Buttstroke.
Oh, I gotta find out that's a thing.
Nobody listening to my voice right now, Google hickory butt stroke. I'm serious.
That rules me out. I'm not listening to you.
That's fair. All right.
I say make hickory butt stroke a thing.
You guys aren't I always present these questions, but okay. So you're gonna cast Jonah Hill in the Batman movie. Who would you cast him as? Like we talked about, like we're all kind of on board with him as the Penguin. I still think it's kind of mean, but.
He's going to get paid. I'm not concerned with mean.
Well, all right. Here's why I don't think it's mean. Because the Penguin doesn't necessarily have to be a fat guy, okay?
No.
Gotham. The Penguin is not a super fat guy, you know?
Yeah,
you don't know what time frame the Batman is going to take place in. And Penguin doesn't traditionally have to be a fat dude. It could be, that's why I feel like Jonah Hill would be great as it. Because he's not like a super skinny, anorexic guy. If you were, okay, I could see you as a Riddler. But, you know, you got a few extra pounds, you little thick man. That's totally cool with being the Penguin, but he's in great shape, and the Penguin could be, you know, a different version of the Penguin. Maybe you haven't seen the comics before. Maybe the Penguin's more of a beefcake, you know?
That would actually be kind of fun if they change up the Penguin a little bit, so he's almost like the Kingpin. You expect him to just be like, oh, he's just this short little fat guy. That's why everybody calls him the Penguin, and whatever like that. And then like he gets in a fight with Batman, and his shirt tears, and he's just ripped.
And I'm cool with that. I think that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
What about you, Al?
I mean, I'm fine really with any of those, with those two options. I don't know. I can't think of anyone that I would put him in the role of.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
You don't want him to be Harley Quinn?
No.
He's not my Harley Quinn. I'll have to veto that one.
Not my Harley. No, I don't. But would be fine with a different penguin like we were just discussing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel like we need. I mean, I thought, like I said, the guy from Gotham, I thought he was great.
Dude, he's awesome as Penguin. I thought he nailed it. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing if they made a Batman movie using some of the cast from Gotham.
Like the guy who played Victor Zsasz, he was great.
Is he the bald
guy?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, he showed up in that show Barry.
Did he?
Yeah, Bill Hader. He was one of the guys in Barry. He was so good in that, and funny too. He was a lot. He was like a mobster in that, but there was a lot of comedy to his character in that one. So like where Victor Zsasz was just a straight psychopath in Gotham, you got his sense of humor in the other one.
There's a little bit of humor, I think, in the character in Gotham.
Yeah,
with some of the stuff he would do.
That's true.
With his assassinations and when some of his plans would get foiled and whatnot.
I'd love to see that guy back though.
All right, well, I've got one more bit of Batman news, and that's the comic I brought for you guys that came out this week. It is part of DC's Black Label comics. It's a miniseries called Harleen. There you go, there for the Twitch streaming people. It's written and drawn by Stephen Sejick. It's a 3-issue miniseries. The Black Label, DC Black Label stuff is where like they'll swear. That's where you get to see the Batman.
The Bat Dong.
It's where you get to see the Bat Dong in the Black
Label. So it's more the
books.
adult-oriented Batman fanatics go to
that's where
get their Batman fix.
Superman bangs a mermaid in the Frank
Superman
Miller.
bangs a mermaid?
In the Frank Miller Year One book. In the second issue of that's also one of these oversized Black Label books. Superman bangs a mermaid.
I have a newfound respect for Superman now.
He joins the
I thought
Navy.
He was a one-woman type of man. He's going to just give it to Lois Lane, and that's the only person he's going to give it to, but he's strayed and he banged a mermaid.
Spoilers for people that haven't read Frank Miller's Superman Year One. It came out a couple of months ago. He joins the Navy as a young man, and he finds out there's mermaids, and he's like, well, I got to see this.
I mean, if I had the opportunity, I would probably bang a mermaid too.
He fights. He fights like the Kraken to win her hand from the whoever the King of the Sea is. It's not Aquaman at the moment. Well,
I'm not going to fight a Kraken, but I would bang a mermaid if the opportunity presented itself to bang a mermaid.
Right.
Like I wonder, like, should he have like is it like how fish do it? You know, like is there?
I don't know. Which parts? Where does it
go?
End? Where does the fish start?
But Superman's much more human than I thought him to be. Banging mermaids, huh?
Well, this is before he meets Lois Lane, so.
Okay, fair enough. I guess that makes sense. So he's still faithful, but.
But this particular book, this Harleen book, takes place. It's kind of the origin story of Harley Quinn. So you get to see her meet the Joker and learn all about him and stuff like that. This first book, kind of slow. It ends with her actually meeting the Joker for the first interview in Arkham Asylum. So this particular issue, not fascinating, but the next it leads into, it's all prelude to what will occur, which the next issue will probably be the Joker getting her to break him out and turn her into Harley Quinn. And then the third issue, I believe, will be her and Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy trying to get her away from the Joker.
And didn't DC kill Vertigo?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So this is kind of, since they don't have that anymore, that's what they're doing with this Black Label thing.
Essentially.
Yeah.
I thought Vertigo was a character.
It's a Marvel character for sure.
Yeah.
It might be a DC character. I'm not sure. Me and you read the Marvel Universe app or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
I finally opened the DC Universe app. Like, I don't have a subscription to it, but you can kind of poke around and see stuff because they've got, the video on there. They've got, some of the
I've never gone on
movies and everything like that. I don't, maybe once again, as longtime Nerd Radio listeners know, I live in the Marvel Universe. I visit the DC Universe occasionally.
Yeah.
But I feel like their comic selection, unless you're a Batman or a Superman guy, kind of lackluster. None of the Vertigo stuff in there. It's real weird to see a lot of Jim Lee's stuff, like Wildcats and Stormwatch and the Authority and stuff like that. All stuff that used to have the Image Eye. Like, I still have the comics, and it's got the Image Eye up in the corner.
Sure, yeah.
For that Image Eye to be, like, digitally scraped out in a big DC, but where that thing is. Like, this feels like rewritten history. This is weird. All right, well, we're not going to rewrite history, but we are going to take a break. And we'll be back with a little bit more Nerd Radio in just a minute. Make sure you're following us on all your social media at Nerd Radio 101. Make sure you're downloading the podcast, which if you're listening to this, then you must be downloading the podcast. But rate and review us wherever you're downloading the podcast.
Chuck Bean is ill this week.
I am. We'll be back.